Hey guys, after I recorded the video you're about to watch, my buddy told me that he acquired this Ryobi pressure washer at a clean out he did. I don't know if it's a storage clean out, storage unit, house. So there's no telling how long it sat between now and when it was last used. So if you've got a pressure washer that won't start because it's sat for a long time since you used it last, I think this video might help you. Thanks for watching. Hello everyone, I'm Buck Weezer. Welcome to another video with Buck's Small Engine DIY channel on YouTube. A buddy of mine just dropped off this Honda, actually it's a Ryobi pressure washer. It's powered by a Honda engine, the GCV160. He dropped it off. He didn't ring the bell or stop to say hi. He just dropped it off and I know nothing about it as a result. I can only assume he knows that I like to fix things, so it's not running and he wants me to check it out. It looks super clean. It can't possibly have seen a lot of use. It's just the condition that it's in. It just looks clean and nice and almost new. Didn't leave me a hose or a wand, a trigger wand, so I'll need to find those things. And I don't know anything about it. But some of my initial observations, does not appear to have gas in it, although the bottom of the tank is moist. Let's see if it's got oil. Yes, it does have oil, although it appears a little bit low. And yeah, so we got to figure out what's going on and see if we can fire it up. Now, I'm going to have to go to the shed and get a wand and a hose. This looks like so clean, perfect, as if it's brand new. Maybe he picked it up used and just wants me to give it a once-over. I don't know. Well, let's see if it'll fire up and start for us. Let me connect the hose, the water line, get the wand and the trigger and all that, and we'll see what we can get. Add some fuel, see if we'll give it a go. Okay, so I got the hoses connected. Borrowed this one from my pressure washer. All right, we're getting water through the pump, so that's good. I added fuel. This guy has a fuel shutoff valve, so we should open that. Turn it from off to on. Look at all these steps. They're numbered 12, 13, 14. All these steps.
I tried.
Wow. All right, we'll pull out the choke. Got fuel flowing. Hopefully it's the carburetor. Let's try it. Nope, he's not contributing at all. Nothing happening with that. Off, on. All right, so let's do this. Nothing's happening there. Let's see if we can shoot some starting fluid directly into the carburetor throat and see if that does anything. If not, we'll have to get out the spark tester and check for spark. Let me go get the starting fluid. All right, leave that cover off. Let's try it again. See if anything happens. Nary a pop. All right, let's check for spark. This is an inline spark tester. rides right there between the spark plug line and the spark plug itself. And when I pull the string, it should light up. Should flash. We're outside, so it might be a little bit hard to see. Give you a closer look there. And hopefully I'll be able to see it as well. Yep. Oh. So we are okay. Maybe if I had given it one more pull last time, we would have fired up. So we are getting spark, and it fired briefly. Possibly it was just running on the starting fluid that we had shot in there. Let's see what else we can do here. Choke it. Off, on. Give it a little more of this. Try that again. Okay, well, we discovered that it runs. That's pretty good, right? And well, it's not running great. That's surging. So I think probably what we need to do is take down that carburetor and clean it out. It probably is sat for a series of months or longer between uses. And the ethanol fuel sort of gums up the carburetors, and if they do run, they surge like that. So I think cleaning out that carburetor might be all we need to do, because yeah, we got it running now, and it just needs a little bit of TLC. So I'll show you how we're going to do that. All right, let me see if I can walk you through this. Let's turn off the fuel line. That's always convenient. And we got two, I think these are 10mm bolts that hold it all up there. Now, the frustration might be that this air cleaner assembly cover, you can't see anything back there. And once we take it down, getting all the parts back up in the correct order can sometimes be a challenge. And I'm telling you this from experience. And we'll take down these 10mm bolts. Now, if it all falls down on us, don't panic. We'll manage. But the carburetor, the gasket, the plates, all held up by those two bolts that we just removed. And this cover just conceals everything. You can't really see what you're doing. So there, gasket fell. So the challenge will be when we're putting it back together. Taking it apart is always pretty easy. So this is the breather hose that comes off. This spacer, I don't know if it was from up here or back here. I think it was right up here. That gasket right there that fell out already. We need to disconnect our fuel line. Honda uses these little wire clamps that I don't like very much. They always fight me. sometimes I just destroy them in the process of removing them and replace it with something better when we reassemble. So yeah, it runs, but that surging is kind of intolerable. There's very few or no adjustments on this carburetor, so they're tuned to run really lean because of emissions regulations, and it's sometimes a pain. And just don't get enough fuel. Okay, so that's coming down. There's a cardboard gasket here and a spacer behind it, and I'm not even going to touch that. We'll just leave that up because that is actually helping us. Now we got to remove these linkages. This is our choke linkage, and then the throttle back there where there's a thinner and a thicker wires that come off. And it's got to be careful. All right, so there's the choke. There's the thin wire. And the thicker one for the throttle. So that's it. So now it's down. We can take this to the workbench, take it apart, probably clean it out. See if we can get it clean so that it can have a better flow of fuel through this carburetor and run a little nicer. Okay, so here's the carburetor, and it's a 10mm bolt at the base to take off the bowl. And I got a bowl here because I want to try to catch what comes out, just to take a look at the fuel that may have been sitting in the bottom of this bowl or other contaminations. Doesn't look terrible, actually. I don't see any particles in that fuel. But let's take the bowl off. That may be a little more of a trick. There we go. He was a little bit stuck. Alright, I don't know if you can see any of that. There's a little bit of crud in there. Sand or particles. You see them here on the right side especially. I'm going to clean that out. Those are the kind of things that can clog up the small jets and holes through which the fuel has to flow. So let me get some carburetor cleaner spray and we'll clean this up. Next, I'm going to take off the float and the needle, pull this pin out, lift up the float. The needle comes with it. We'll rinse them off. And now I'm going to get a screwdriver and go right up the center of that main jet, and should be able to remove that main jet that threads up through the center post. Just have to find the right size screwdriver. Okay, good. He's loosening. Sometimes those are just really stuck in there. So I'm just completely unscrewing this jet. There's the first piece and the second piece. Alright, so these are the guys that have so many tiny little holes, and we want to clean them out. We want to take some carburetor spray and spray these parts up through the center. I want to get maybe a small pin and push it through these holes. They're just really tiny holes. And clean them out as best we can. That's how you clean out the main jet in these little Honda carburetors. There's another thing I want to do is try to remove that Phillips head screw right there and see if I can clean that out as well. Shoot some carburetor cleaner through there. Got these small brushes. Just want to clean it out. Not just from like loose particles, but from built up varnish that may have hardened on the inside, like a type of nail polish that obstructs the flow. Okay, that's pretty good. Wanted to pull this guy off too, if possible. Because there's another small jet down in there, and I want to shoot some spray through there as well. But like I was saying, you know, none of this is adjustable like they used to be. So you're stuck with whatever size holes they've drilled through which the fuel has to flow. And often it's just barely big enough. And I can't guarantee that we'll put it back together and it will run perfectly smoothly. But hopefully it'll at least be better. And you know, one final trick, which I'm not going to do, but I have done it in the past on these. This is the main jet. This is the first thing that came out when we used the screwdriver to remove the jet. That has just the tiniest little hole through which all of the fuel is flowing. And you can get micro drill bits, really tiny drill bits, and just find one a little bit bigger than that hole and try to open it up. And that's unconventional, but sometimes it works because it allows more fuel to flow through that main jet, and that solves the surging and fuel starvation issues. Alright, so we're going to put it all back together now, the reverse of what we did, and then we'll mount it back on the pressure washer. Alright, so let's see about hanging this carburetor back up. This may be the most challenging part, because we got to hang all these components and mount this without being able to really see what we're doing because of this way this is molded. I have in the past taken a pair of scissors or a knife or a hacksaw or something and just cut this out so that I could see and have access to the stuff. It would have been so much easier, instead of long bolts, just to have studs and then nuts so we can, as a final step, screw on. But if it takes me more than one try, I don't want you to freak out. We'll figure it out. I'm going to start by connecting the linkages. Alright, in the reverse order of what we put them on. So there's the throttle. Next I'll do this spring, which goes in the small hole beside it. Okay, so next is the choke lever. That would be choke. Like that. So he's got to be in this first one here, right? I don't remember. Alright, so there's that. Next, I'm going to put on the fuel line. I got a different clamp. I like a style I like better. It's not that crucial, and it's not that tight, but again, it's not that crucial. It's not under pressure or anything. All right, can you see what I'm doing all right so far? So now that's hanging there. I didn't disturb this gasket behind the carburetor or that spacer plate. Hopefully they'll stay in place for us by themselves. All right, so I'm gonna take this and push my two bolts through it. This gasket I know had come off, so let's put that on the post. And we'll begin to slide them through. I'm going to slide them through the 2 holes in the carburetor as they belong. Now, while I still have a little bit of flexibility, I'm going to attach this breather hose back here. That one I might actually be able to do afterwards, but all right, so now let's try to carefully get this up into place. Start threading the bolts. It's not started yet. Again, it's a challenge because you can't see what you're doing. That one started. I think that one is too. I'm going to get a nut driver. Because I'd rather turn these in gingerly by hand. I think we're going in. See what a challenge that can be? Because you're working blind here. This was our kill wire. And he needs to be up here, doesn't he? It's clipped in right there. I think we about got it. All right, and we'll snug them down. Don't have to go nuts with it. And I think we're on. Choke is working. Throttle moves okay. You know what? I think we did it. All right. Shall we give this another shot? Let's turn on the fuel. Let's put in the air cleaner. Get everything hooked up again, and we'll see if we can run this baby. Okay, got the water turned on. That's good. The on, choke it, fuel is on. Here we go. Alright, well that's pretty good. Like I said, you still hear some of that surging, which feels pretty annoying, but as soon as you pull the trigger on the wand, it runs great. It also started on the first pull. That feels pretty good also. You know, there's a lot of pressure in that pump, especially when you're not spraying anything. You know, it's not until such a time as you pull the trigger and that pressure can be released, which is why I think it might surge sometimes. You know, when you release the trigger, you got all that pressure in the pump. But either way, I think we've done a pretty good job. It wasn't starting before, and now it is on the first pull. And I did a little pressure washing of the kids swing set. I keep it clean by fixing pressure washers and trying them out on the swing set. All right, so hopefully that gives you some help on fixing a pressure washer, whether it's a Ryobi brand or any other brand. This is particular. The Honda engine is around a lot. You'll see this on a lawnmower, you'll see it on pressure washers, and they can surge like that. And so a little carburetor work and it's good to go again. I think a big problem with pressure washers not starting is that they have sat for so long since the last use. And the carburetor bowl and jet has gotten all gummed up with the you know, with the old fuel that's been sitting in there for months and months. So if you use it at least once a month, you probably are good to go. But you know, these only see occasional use, and the carburetor is often the issue. Your comments and questions are always appreciated. Thanks for joining me on this project, and I'm still in my bathing suit, so maybe I should jump in the pool again. See you later, guys. Bye-bye.